Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to start. First of all, I have a question for you. Who already experienced a cyber attack? Raise your hands, please. Two. Who knows people that have experienced a cyber attack? Okay, that's good. First of all, Bart and myself, we will do a duo presentation. And we will talk about a cyber attack that we have experienced, how we did collaborate on this together, and well, we will want to give you some tips and tricks. First of all, let me introduce myself. Do you, yes, use the clicker. This is me. You see I'm using ChatGPT, as a lot of people, having fun by making those 3D animations. About myself, I have a passion for digital transformation. I worked at some IT companies like Real Software, Digipolis. In the last 14 years, I've been working at Zorgbedrijf Antwerp, a care company with 4,000 people. And recently, I am self-employed. And I try to solve the patient stops. Can you hear this? Because I hear a lot of noise. Okay, lovely. And then last but not least, my hobby is running marathons, and to be honest, a cyber attack is like running a marathon. But without the healthy food, with a lot of pizzas, long hours and stuff like that. So Bart.
Thank you, Dimitri. Let me introduce myself. I'm Bart Saals. I'm a team lead and service manager at Spikes. And for me, a strong customer focus is very important. Dimitri was a customer of me within the cyber attack, and I really like to think with the customer and also with the end users. I like to describe myself as a problem solver, and with some common sense, I really want to see what is important for a business and not just reporting some measurements or things like that. I really want to put myself into the business to help a customer, and also to connect business needs with the IT needs and see the gap between it and fill it at the right manner. And I'm an IT generalist for over 20 years, so that's a little bit my experience.
Yeah, maybe important. If you start by working together, a strong partnership is important. To be honest, I like to work with companies that have the same vision. I like going mobile first, cloud first. But also what is important, I don't like, to be honest, the guys that come in with their suits and their ties and they tell you that they know everything. They are not willing to share a lot of knowledge to your colleagues. So I think that's, for me, that was the spark I had with Spikes. They were down to earth. They were part of the team, also at the cyber attack, which we'll talk about. And they were not keeping all the knowledge to themselves. They wanted to transfer knowledge to my team. And I think that's one of the major keys to have a partnership.
If you work with a customer, you're also working with an IT team. You have the IT team as an IT partner, and both teams need to work really together. And if they understand each other, it's a real strong relationship. And that is the one we had also with Zorgbedrijf Antwerpen. We managed mostly their Microsoft Cloud environment, so their Azure environment, but also the Microsoft 365 environments. And we just are down to earth, like Dimitri said, but also use common sense and be honest with a customer about everything, and that gives that good relationship.
Yeah. First, I'll start with previous. It's like, what did we do in the beginning? Because it's important when you look at the story. So, you can click on it. Yes. 14 years ago, when I started at the care company, my vision was, from then on, try to get everything in the cloud. First thing was, we had 150 locations, 150 telephone exchanges. It was crazy. So the first thing I did was, went to one telephone exchange in the cloud. It was also cost effective, but could be managed very, very good. Also, we were the first to put SAP for HANA in the cloud on an Azure platform in Europe. So already there, we started to do as much as possible to go to the cloud. Yep. Okay. Then since 2017, also Spikes came into our company, and we looked together at security items. To give you an example, when you looked at our website, we had a my site for our customer, but when the customer changed a number, he could also go into the site of another customer. Yeah, that was not ideal, of course. So from then on, we invested like 15% of the IT budget into security. And if I look at this event, I think there's a lot of money going on security nowadays. Also, we started doing things like MFA and multi-factor authentication, backup and disaster recovery. It's also what we did today. We also brought together our own laptops. We had a new shirt, for example. If we spilled some tea, we could put on a new shirt. So also there, we think about security and backup and recovery issues.
We were working also with Zorgbedrijf Antwerpen on a security baseline project. Because a security baseline, it means that everything what is needed in security is in place of the security. And one of the good measurements is the secure score. So we use a secure score to see how healthy an environment is. The secure score raised from 30 to over 80% for this customer. And mostly the average in the market is around 40%. I don't know if people are aware of the secure score of their company in this room. And if they know it's lower than 50% or bigger. But mostly it's a low score, and you can improve it with a lot of actions which are also taken by the Microsoft portal. So we worked on that, and now we keep that also over the 80%. So we do also reporting of that secure score with our customers, and we always look day to day how it's going and what we need to improve, if there are vulnerabilities, if everything is MFA enabled or other things. So that's important to also do the follow-up from this, to be aware that everything is under control.
Yeah, to add on that, yesterday I went to another customer. To give you an example, they even have laptops working on Windows 10, and they had 24 servers locally, and they were more than 7 years old. So I said, oh my God, to give you an example. Okay, what is important? Make sure that you start early, because, I don't know, but you will, once a time, you will get like a cyber attack. It's not a question, is it going to happen? The question is only when it's going to happen. The first thing we did at Zorgbedrijf then is we made sure we had a crisis room. Crisis room also important in an elderly home. If there's a fire alarm or stuff like that, make sure you have a place where you can sit together with your team to do this. Another important thing is try to document your emergency issues so that if something falls down, people know, and it should be in their drawer. They should take the pages to see what are we going to do when things are not working anymore. This is important. That are things that you can do right now. So you don't have to wait till you get a cyber attack. No, you do this as soon as possible. And also important, make sure you have a communication plan. Because I saw that when we had a cyber attack, communication is key. You have to communicate with the agency. You have to communicate with the banks, with your people. There's a lot of things you have to deal with. And when you have a cyber attack, at the moment that you have it, you don't have the time to rethink everything. No, you should have the possibility to take it and to start looking for actions.
What's also important is to have a good disaster recovery plan and a backup plan. But most of the ITers, it's mostly the boring part of having that kind of plans. But if you really deal with a cyber attack, then you're very happy that you have a plan and certainly have tested already. So it's very important to have a frequently test of your plans, because it really gives you comfort in a situation that you are in a crisis. In this case also, we already before checked how the retention of the backups needed to be, which are the critical systems, which is very important in case of emergency. And mostly those kinds of tests are only focused on a little part, and then in case you really need them, it's not tested over the whole organization. So that's very important, and was really a relief that we had that, because if you deal with a cyber attack, mostly the attacker is already a long time in your company or in your IT environment, and you really need also backups before they were inside. So in this case, we needed to go back more than 6 months. So that's very important to be aware of that and to check which environments you needed to back up in a longer time or more. And as Dimitri said, for the disaster recovery, it's the same. It always gives comfort. It's something that you really need to keep alive and also test a lot.
Now you have to go forward. Yes. Maybe just to end this thing, one of my mottos is never waste a good crisis. A cyber attack is a very good crisis, but also COVID was, for the care company where I work for, also a good element to make sure that you use the crisis. What we did in COVID times was making sure that the digital transformation was going on a steady pace, and we did a lot of things that we could not have done without a crisis. For instance, we made sure that every person in our company had a smartphone. So 2 weeks after COVID started, we said we are going to give every person a smartphone. Why? It was very easy. I give you an example. We had 1,000 people working at people's houses, nurses, people that cleaned and stuff like that. What they had to do from the government, every time they went to a customer, they had to sign a paper and let the customer sign on paper what they did and how many hours they spent. Every week, the 1,000 people, they went to we had post offices, they took all the papers, put them in, and I had 3 people driving around to get all the papers. After that, I had 5 people putting all the data in. So the moment that COVID started and we implemented like 4,000 smartphones, this was all digitalized. It even went further, that also access control. We made sure that every door there was a badge system and they just used their smartphone. We integrate also the call system. So this is also important because by doing this, we had some elements to use at the cyber attack to communicate with our people on the floor. If we did not do the smartphone element, we could not reach them. We could not inform them about the smartphone. So also here, think about that and use your crisis to make sure that you do your digital transformation. 6 December 2022, it was Cyber Center Day. It was not a very funny gift. It was not what it should be, but we had Cyber Center. Probably you heard about Cyber Center that came into the city of Antwerp. The partner where we worked with was Digipolis, and they had a cyber attack. So if you go to the next slide, Bart. To be honest, at 4 o'clock in the morning, I got a phone from one of my employees, Veronique, and she called me and said, I see some strange things. Planning is not working anymore. The cash exchange systems were not working anymore. Our care system is not working anymore. The file server is not working anymore. We don't have reports anymore. So I think, okay, shit happens. What I did then is, at 7 o'clock in the morning, we started, I don't know if it's in here, but we started our crisis room. It was really a war room. I informed all my colleagues. They came in at 8 o'clock. I called Spikes.
Yeah, it was, and then we received a call from our customer, and we were not yet monitoring their on-premise environment. So we dealt with the cloud environment. That's the reason why we get the phone call. And at our side, we did the same thing as the customer did. We also put a crisis team together and see how to communicate a lot. So we already quickly decide to have 2 times a day a stand-up meeting with the customer and all parties involved. So that was very important to have a good communication and also to set priorities. But it's really difficult to set priorities because nothing is working anymore, where to start, what to do, everything is important. And that's the link you need to have with the customer. And also, if you have the backup or the DR plan plan, you already know the most important things in your organization. For us, it was also important to set priorities on security. So you have an environment that has been under attack, and you really need to put a new environment. We did it in the cloud that's completely secure and isolated from the other one. We also started with Active Directory hardening, but also set up the multi-factor authentication, but also all your admin accounts are not safe anymore. So you need to reset all admin accounts, service accounts. All those things come together, but also you need to think about the customer, what's important to keep the organization alive and to have everything operational.
So as you see here, 4 o'clock there was the attack, 7 o'clock war room, 8 o'clock we talked with our IT suppliers, 9 o'clock we did some internal communication to the board, to the direction, also to every employee, because they all had a smartphone, so we could contact them and say there's something going on. We are setting up contingency plans. At 10 o'clock, every employee had his contingency plan. This means that at 10 o'clock, every employee did know what to do. So he did have orders like, okay, this is the planning. You are from now on, get it in Excel. We mail it to you. The cash register, okay, this is a document that you should use. So we did this for every part of the company. This is important because we were a private company. It's not like a public company like the city that said, okay, you can park for free, you can come and swim for free, because I had to pay the wages, so that's important. We had to make sure that, first of all, the customer was being served. That was my main priority. Secondly, I needed to know that the people that are working with us were also being well served, and I could pay the wages at the end of the month. It was also December, so we had the 13th month, which was also important. Third, we should also have contact with the suppliers to say, okay, what are we going to do? At 10:30, we communicated this also to a lot of agencies, agency of care, because from time to time they come over to an elderly home and they do inspection. But yeah, they could come over to have an inspection, but you cannot show them anything because the system is not working. So we asked them, okay, please do not come over because we have nothing to show you. You just can see that we are giving good care, but we don't have figures and stuff like that. And they agreed with that, so that was very important. Also to the banks, to all the suppliers, to the government to say, probably data can be leaked. We are not sure, but it can be done. So it's good that they knew it. So this is important, I think, communication, and then change passwords, but I think you already mentioned it.
Yeah, but to change passwords, it's really an easy step, or it seems to be an easy step, but it's not for your end user. So we had about 4,000 end users who need to change their password and never did it before. They need also to use the multi-factor authentication, and suddenly it becomes a big issue because you need a lot of user adoption. It's the most easiest thing for an ITer, but not for a regular end user. So that was also a lot of communication and the link with the end users.
Okay, day 2, to be honest, it was not at 5 o'clock that we stopped working. At 5 o'clock we did some action, but I think those weeks after that, I think we almost slept together virtually then, but these were long days.
Yeah, and you want to know the root cause because you're in the middle of a cyber attack. First of all, your first thought is, I need to solve everything and everything needs to be operational. But never forget to check the root cause. Why did this happen? How did this happen? Who did it? In case of this cyber attack, it was a play ransomware. And you need to know what is going on, what is it doing. As I mentioned before, it's also important to know when the attacker already began with the preparation of the complete cyber attack. So it's very important that you keep in mind and doing that in all the actions you are taking.
Yeah, on day 2, we also looked at the scenarios. Is everybody doing working how they should work due to the contingency plans? We changed some of them. We even started up some webinars so that people really knew how to work on the alternative way. Sometimes they had to do even things on paper. but it was important to communicate them, to train them, and to make sure that everybody was doing their job. And of course, what I mentioned, that's safeguarding the risk, good care, make sure that we could pay the wages, and after this time, make sure that everything came back online, which was one of our main priorities, of course.
Absolutely. And then one big opportunity you have as an IT partner is that we build it really in a new IT environment from scratch for Zorgbedrijf. So that means also you can implement everything you want. We put on landing zones in Azure. We did the complete Active Directory as we wanted. All the things that were or took a long time before were now solved. And we really could implement everything as a clean, secure environment with everything in it. So it's a little bit the dream of an ITer. And we also solved a lot of things that were an operational issue, like a database server that was not performant anymore. Suddenly we could put a new one. We could everything at a clean start. And then, it was really a relief as an IT partner. And also, of course, we set up a security operations center because we want to know if there were new intrusions on that environment. So that's important. Still on today, it's the most important thing that you have a good security monitoring and see what's happening on the complete environment.
Yeah. Then as you can see, 3 weeks after the cyber attack, the planning was back live again, immediately in the cloud. Our care file system was also back online, also immediately in the cloud. So we made sure that we used the crisis to make it better. Another example is, we were already 3 years working on getting all the data into SharePoint. But every time I went to one of the managers, they said, I don't have time for that. We will do this in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. Now it was very easy. Everything that was on the file server was not reachable anymore. And those that did a good job by putting all their data on SharePoint, they were happy because they still could reach it. So from now on, one of my targets was to get in 2023 everything on SharePoint. I could check it was okay due to the cyber attack. Also reporting. We had an old Cognos reporting environment. Also then, by doing this, we could start from scratch. And we implemented immediately Microsoft Fabric, which was a big advantage because now, all the data, all the reports are new, and not only new built, but also rethought. So we are now in a very good environment. So what it says, it's like a solid base for the future and innovation.
Yeah, it was really a solid base because we also had, from a technical point of view, a really secure environment. Even naming conventions or all the things you had before needed a long time was now solved. But most of all, we are talking about technology, but most of all, it's about the people, because collaboration is key, and the strength is in the people, not just in the technology, because the working between our two IT teams was very good, and it was really an opportunity to deal with things, and that's more than just technology.
Yeah, it's good. You can go to the next one. You said it all. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, there were also, we spent a lot of hours. IT teams are spending more than a whole day. They need to work in the evening, in the weekend. So it's important that you keep them together and you give a pizza at the right time or a good motivation.
From time to time, something healthy.
And we also did a team event together with our customer, a little bit symbolic. We did a VR shooting game to fight against the same enemy. So that was really a nice event.
Yeah, maybe one last example, just to let you show how you could use a crisis. We had a medication program that meant that when a PhD subscribes something from medication, it digitally went to a robot in a pharmacy. What does the robot do? It says, okay, that's the patient. These are the pills that he has to have. And they came into a big canister. It takes the pills, put them in a bag, and there's a roll with bags coming out so that the people at the elderly home, they just take the roll and they say, okay, this is room 1, these are the pills or the medication for patient 1, for patient 2, and so on. Now, this digital transfer was not possible anymore because the system was not working. So what went on, we had to email all those schedules to the pharmacy, and they had to manually pick the pills and put them in bags. After 1 week, they said, this is not working anymore. We are going to deliver the pills in boxes. So we get for each patient, we got like a bag like this with all the medication. To be honest, I was not sure that everybody was going to get the right medication. But to be honest, we had the same president for our company and also the pharmacy company. So it was a bit difficult, but we also wanted to change the pharmacy already for a year or 4, but that was a difficult political issue. We were also not happy with the service, so I used this crisis to change this. So what did we do? The day before Christmas, I phoned the biggest pharmacy companies in Belgium. I told them what my problem was, and I said, can you help me? Now one of them said, okay, I'm going to help you. I'm going to close 3 pharmacies, and we're coming over to help you. In 2 weeks, we were at a big table with 20 people. I also did it myself. We have to put in all the medication schemes into a system, in a new system. And after 3 weeks, everything was digitalized. Even further, by giving everybody a smartphone, they could use NFC. So if they took the medication and they went to the door of the patient or the elderly person, they just tapped on it, the file went open, and they could immediately see, okay, is this correct? I will give him the medication. So first of all, we had a new supplier with better services. Our employees were happy because the service was better and they could use NFC, and also it went faster for them. And third of all, it was also safer for the patient because we had a better security issue to see, is this the right medication? So this is what I want to mention about. Use your crisis to make it better. I think then we are on my last slide, or our last slide. Never let a good crisis go to waste, which is the motto of our cyber attack.
You can really take 3 steps forward because you have the opportunity to deal with everything on a point of view of NIS2. We already implemented a lot thanks to the crisis, so the security level was very high.
Yeah, even there, if you have a cyber attack, to be honest, budget is at that moment not a problem. Maybe after that, but at that moment your CEO will say, okay, do this, make sure it happens. Also, this was the best awareness training you could ever have. Because after the cyber, everybody in the company was aware of cyber attack, phishing, and stuff like that. So you don't have to pay a lot of people, just make sure you have a cyber attack.
It was even the best team building we ever had because there was really a good vibe in the 2 teams. We were fighting all against one enemy, and that was the vibe we had. So everyone wanted to be part of the team. I had an IT team, which people who even asked, can I also join the project team to tackle the cyber attack? So it was really a nice vibe we had as a human factor.
Yeah, we did what I had to plan for the next 4 years, I could do in 1 year. And to be honest, and to end the presentation, a quote from my CEO was, in fact, the following. He said, first of all, let me ask you something. He said to me, did you started the cyber attack? I said, no, it was not me. Secondly, he asked, what are you going to do the next 3 years? Yeah, I knew what to do. So the third thing he said, let's do this every 2 years, then we can move on and make sure that our company is further digitalized. So I think, to end the quote, when you have it, never let a good crisis go to waste. But first of all, make sure you have your contingency plans, you be prepared, because it will happen one day or another. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if you have questions, we are around here, so